Should we prepare? Hello, Susan B. Hello, everyone. So that's what's entered my mind. I had to go to the doctor for a few checkups or something. And I thought, I'm just going to stop by the stores while I'm out because gas is going up again. And the gas is going up. So I thought I'll just go to this like Aldi store because I like their not their tomato sauce, their spaghetti sauce, okay? Because it tastes like Prego, even though it's off-brand. So I go into the store, and I noticed there's not as many food aisles as there used to be, say, last year. And the food that is on the shelf, there's not much of a selection, you all. You may be noticing that, too. There's hardly any selection. And what is there is it's a small amount because more and more people are going to these smaller stores is what they're doing. They're going to the smaller stores because they want to try to get the most for their monies with inflation happening and, shortages of certain food items. That was one thing I noticed. I thought, wow, I didn't know that. So then, I thought, well, there's this Goodwill right by this store. So I walked into there, and even that, there's more people shopping at the Goodwills, the Salvation Armies and stuff. And it's like first come, first serve. First come, first serve, And even their prices they're like a slightly bit higher. And of course, the food prices are getting higher too. So I thought, should we prepare? Of course, you should prepare. If you're going to the grocery store, you're seeing that your choice of food is getting smaller and smaller. And if you notice that the quantity is not there, and let's face it, you can't be going into a store that's already, a low-cost store and saying, oh, and it's loaded with people, and there's not very much food on the shelves. You can't be going in there and taking cases and cases and cases of food, leaving none for anybody else. You can't do that. Well, theoretically you can, but that's not very sharing of you. That's not too considerate of you for waiting at the last minute to do that, you all. Don't please. Don't be going in those stores. Did you see what just now happened? Did you see that? Something keeps disconnecting me. Do we got a black screen? Because, no black screen? Yeah. Yeah, that's not too sharing if there's lots of people and there's only only a couple cases of something left or 3 or 4 cases, and you decide, I just want to take 2 of them or I want to take 3 of them because they got more in the back. They may not. And there are people who live paycheck to paycheck. Okay, there are. So please, you all, I know that you went into the store. You've been noticing it, the food, and even a lot of the other bigger stores, the food products are being pushed toward the front, and like pushed all the way out. And if you look behind the product, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Yeah, you're on disability. And the people like you and a lot of other people who are on disability, like, my money only goes so far. I only have enough money, I barely have enough money to pay my utilities, my rent, and then I've got my medicine. There's nothing left for groceries. There's nothing left for gas. And I thought about that too. And when you don't have no extra money. And you may even find yourself having to go to the food banks. There are people, there's nothing wrong with going to a food bank. There's nothing wrong at all, you all. There's not. That's why they're there. But even the food banks at times, they run extremely low. And the kitchens that people can go to, you know, they provide a meal a day for the homeless and stuff like that. People go there too. They don't ask for no ID or nothing. They, you know, you go there, you eat your food, and you're very thankful that you got food to eat. You really are. So preparing, I guess it's warm up here, but that's okay. You're worth it. You're worth it, you all. So even if you can't, if the money's tight, which the money's tight for a lot of people, and your paychecks is getting smaller and smaller and smaller as the prices of goods get bigger and bigger and bigger. You could, like if you've got empty jugs, like an empty milk jug, wash it out really well or something like that, or something you could, like, you know, start saving some water, putting some water aside. You know, I guess you'd have to use like a little bit of chlorine, although liquid chlorine nowadays, and it breaks down and it's not as potent as it used to be. And even the chlorine that they sell in the Dollar Trees, it's like so diluted. It doesn't really hold its whatever it's supposed to hold, you all. It doesn't. But water on hand would be a good thing. Salt is fairly cheap. You don't want to have to go without salt. You don't. Borax to keep water. Oh, is that a powder? Borax powder, you all? Come on. That's right, you all. If you've got any tips for any of us, please, of how you would prepare even on a very limited budget, put it in the comment section, because people like to go to the comment section because sometimes, you know, it's so overwhelming thinking, you know, I know I should prepare, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what I should do. Even like matches, if you got candles, you'd like to have some matches, or you'd like to have a lighter. But food and water and shelter. I think I remember when we did the video about the Farmer's Almanac, how it's going to be a shake, quiver, and shovel type of a winter. It's going to be cold. Someone said she would encourage people, if you could, just get like a little dome tent for you to have inside your house. People have used that when the Did I just see a comment literally just boom? Yeah. Yeah, I don't be throwing no politics in here. This is not a political video. Keep it out, or you're going to be out. That simple. That simple. No tolerance for it. Yeah. So, Susan, honey, you are so good. Thank you. I thought, wow, something disappeared. Susan, you did the right thing. You did, because this is serious what's going on, and we don't need no distractions. We don't, you all. So, when the power has lost, people have lost power due to ice storms and stuff. There have been stories of people saying, my children, I had a dome tent. I put it on their beds and put their sleeping bags in there, and that's where they slept. And the body heat was trapped inside the dome tent. See, and you know, if you ain't got like that, you could do like you used to do when you were little. Take some sheets or blankets, and you know, you can make your own tent. You know, don't you tell me you didn't do that when you were little. I did it. It was so fun. It really was. It made me a tent with my blanket, stuffed that blanket underneath my mattress, tied one corner of it to my chest of drawer handle, and then boom, I had my tent, because we didn't have tents, you all. You can do it. You got to you got to improvise and make do and think outside the box. You really do. And or some people, you could like take your mattresses off your bed and box springs, and you could make an enclosed area. And or, you know, people, you know, you hang plastic, put some plastic and enclose one room, and you can have a heater in one room. If you can tolerate one another, you could do it to conserve your heat, your energy. And yeah, you can make it. You can make it, as long as you learn to do for yourself when there's no one else to depend on, it's you, okay, that it's you. And of course, if you believe in a higher power, it's you and that higher power. Well, sing and shout it, walk and talk it. There's a higher power, you all. There is. There is power in the spiritual realm, is what I'd like to say. There is a higher power, you all. But yeah, I think we should prepare. We should. Now, you don't have to go overboard. You don't want to go in a store and take all at once when there is only a few things left and there's people who need it. You don't want to. You don't. Because when things got really rough and tough and scarce, you may come to that point where you need to share with other people. And even though you may not be a person who likes to share because you say, I did this for myself, I prepared, and all these other people didn't feel it was necessary to prepare, I'm not sharing with them. They can, well, then you have the 5 virgins. 5 were foolish and 5 were wise. The wise ones prepared their lamp with oil, and when the time came, the foolish ones, well, give us some of your oil. They said, no, for there may not be enough for us and you. And then they say, go buy from those who sell. You don't want to wait to the last minute. You don't want to be caught like that. And it's okay to share. If you feel within your spirit to share with others in times of need, when times gets really rough, I think that's absolutely wonderful, because there will be people who aren't willing to share, and or there may not be enough to share with others. And sometimes people do that. Well, I'm not going to do it because somebody else is doing it. That's the wrong type of attitude to have. If you are capable of preparing and you don't because you got plans to go somewhere else, because you know they're preparing, that's wrong of you, especially if you have the funds, if you have the resources, and you put it off because you want somebody else to do all the preparing for you. That's the wrong type of mindset, you all. That don't fly. That don't fly in a survival situation, because they're going to know that you have been told to prepare time and time again, and you chose not, because you probably said to the person to the face, oh, I'm just going to come to your house because I know you're prepared. Don't count on it. Don't count on it, people. If you are that type of person who feels you don't need to because someone else is going to do it for you, and you have the resources to do it, but you don't want to spend your money on preparing, you'd rather spend it on other things, that's your fault. If when your time of need comes and somebody's not willing because you've been told, that you cannot blame anybody but yourself, really. And then there's going to be some humbling within the spirit, you are. And it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't. But I'm just speaking reality. I'm speaking truth. There are going to be situations like that. And you're going to have to be at the mercy of that person. That's right. At the mercy of that person or your neighbors. You're going to have to be. Yeah. That's right. Don't count on your money being worth anything. That's right. You want something tangible, and you may have to barter. You may. But really, should you prepare in a world that's unpredictable? I think you should, in whatever means you can. It's impossible to prepare for everything. It is. And, even if you are preparing, a situation may happen and you think, oh my, I wasn't expecting that. That can happen like that too. It could. Yeah. We are groups on preparing ideas. Oh, there are groups. Yeah, there are. There are groups. There are. And if you say, well, I don't have the resources to do it, you can start reading up on how to survive. Even though you may not have the physical resources to do it, you'll have some knowledge, you'll have some skill up there in case you come in contact with someone's resources, or, unless that, yeah, you learn how to make do with what you've got. You get that knowledge now while you can, because you may not be able to rely on the internet. The internet may go down when you think, well, how do I do this? And you think you're going to go on the internet, and there is no internet, and you don't have no books, and then you're at a loss. Something like that, you all. And get the knowledge. Knowledge is power. It is the know-how, knowing how to do things when you can't rely on the internet. Or you may not even be able to contact, or the telephone. You may not even be able to contact anyone else. You may have to be on your own. And that's okay if that happens, but you better be prepared, okay? Yeah. Well, don't be surprised if you didn't get no notification, because, you know, when I clicked on to do my first live video this morning, I looked at the analytics. I like to look at them. They allowed 230 people in 1 hour out of 123,550 people. Only 223 people in 1 hour, and then it was like 300. That's how the flow of traffic is being suppressed to this channel. And that's why I come on here. I have to come on here every 3 or 4 hours to bring a video on here, to literally bring them, to have them open the doors so traffic can flow into this channel. Otherwise, they're not going to allow it. Fine. That's fine, you all. That's right. It's okay. It really is. Yes, welcome, everyone. Jeffrey, honey, that's okay. Was you the only one who said you didn't get notification? Okay, somebody got none. It's all right. So should you prepare? Yes, because if you, like me, you went into a grocery store, you noticed that there's not as much food on the shelves. And of course, the prices went up, and your money, and when the prices go up, your money doesn't buy as much. And there's not enough products on the shelf for all the people. There isn't anymore, really. If it came right down to something happened, like a snowstorm or something, you know, excuse me, a snowstorm comes, you know what people do? They go to the grocery store and they panic buy, or, you know, they only have maybe a few bit of things in their house at that time. Some people only have a few canned goods in their house. That's how it is. Just maybe 1 week's supply. And the refrigerator, the same thing, because they are just not that type of people, and that they really don't feel the need to buy any more than that. And then there are some people who they can't afford it. They can't. And but they've learned to live on little. There are people who are experts on learning how to make that food last and learning how to survive. They know how to survive. And, well, I don't like to say it. They know what it means to do without, to have less, and they make do. Do they like it? Probably not at times. No one likes to not having enough, but you know what? They make do. You can survive on less. You can. It may not be ideal, but you do what you have to do. You really do, you all. That's right. You can do canned and dried goods. That's right. If they're available. If they're available. And it's okay. And, you know, it's okay if you have to eat oats. That they're kind of cheap. Or the ramen. This is what happens with the ramen that I've heard and I've seen. Limit 4 packs of ramen per individual. Because people live on ramen. I lived on it when I first got married. That's all we could afford, some ramen. Even with my husband in the military, he only got like a $700 paycheck. And then, you know, we had to twice a month, and then we had rent in Monterey. It was $525 a month. Then he had a car payment. That was $300 and something. And then, you know, you got utilities and car insurance. That money don't go far, and then you got to buy food. You know, I remember one time we had less than $10 to last us for a whole pay period. And when you go to the grocery, you get what that $10 can buy. You get you some ramen and you get you some canned goods, and that's what you get, and that's what you eat. You make do. You really do. And it's okay. You survive. You do. Um, And don't feel bad. Don't feel bad, you all. If that's what you're having to do, there's no shame in it whatsoever. None. I've been there. I've done that. I may be there again, and I may do that again. And there's no shame in it. There's nothing wrong if you don't have enough. Okay, there's nothing wrong. Don't beat yourself down. Don't feel sorry for yourself. You just be thankful you do have that right there. And it may not sound nice to say that, Gina. You're telling people to be thankful they got something to eat. Yes, absolutely. Because there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't. I'm not too good. I'm not too good to eat ramen. I'm not too good to open up just a can of maybe green beans or something, or even like eat. I'm not too good. I'm not. In survival situations, in time of need, I'm going to be very thankful that at least I have something to put in my stomach so I don't starve to death. Okay, I am. If I had to go outside and forage, I would do it. I would. Would I like it? Well, it wouldn't be the ideal situation, but I wouldn't throw my hands up in the air and get, like that. No, I'm going to try all my best to keep my spirits up and keep going. And I would encourage you all to do it, because you really don't know what type of disaster may befall the land. You don't know. You really don't. Susan, honey, you are so busy. Thank you, Susan, honey. Canned chili, that's right. Gina, I'm not one who's going to predict the power grid going down. I know that there's rumors about that. There's always been rumors. There has been lots of rumors since I started on this journey. But I know that if you have snowstorms, yeah, your power could go out. Ice storms, all it takes is like, is it 1/4 of an inch of ice on the power lines, or 1/2 an inch? And those lines are not, they're going down, and you're going to lose electricity. And in this ever-changing world, we have cyber warfare that takes place. We do. That's the new way that war is waged, cyber warfare. And that can take down an entire grid of a country. It could. So it would make sense to prepare. And you may say, Gina, honey, that's enough. You're talking way too much. Well, I'm just speaking. I am. Whatever's laid on my heart. I want you to know there's nothing wrong with preparing. There's nothing wrong if you don't have extra funds to prepare. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Right here. It's gonna carry you really far, what's inside that heart right there. When it comes right down to it. It is. And it'll carry you, and it can carry others too. And you can help carry each other, you all. You can. My words are done. So with that being said, right there, it's where it needs to start. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you, you all. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, honey.